Hi and welcome back to Tuesday Vlogs with Donnie. I've been your host, Bam Donnie. And on this episode, we have an amazing guest who is going to talk to us about the topic of today. And the topic of today is basically depression among the youths, the adolescents, and of course the teenagers as a whole. So get into it by liking, subscribing, and sharing it around. Then come back and continue watching. You're welcome. Thank you for making time for us. So even before we get into the topic, depression among the youth and the teenagers, tell us who you are, introduce yourself, tell us what you do, and so on.
So my name is Steven Smith Odhiambo, and I'm a professional paramedic. I work with Safaricom.
Wow, that's amazing. Working with Safaricom, by the way. Okay, get into it. Who is a paramedic person?
Well, basically, a paramedic is a medical practitioner that deals with pre-hospital care. Basically, those people who work with ambulance services to offer medical care to those people who are injured, say the road, maybe in road accidents, and any other person with medical condition that require emergency help. We are there to respond.
Wow, that's so amazing as per your profession. But today, you are into this episode to talk to us about depression in the youths and the teenagers. Kindly tell us, kindly define to us, what really is depression?
Well, basically, depression is a chronic mood disorder that affects how we behave. It brings the lonely feelings in us and loss of joy, and it makes us feel sort of empty. So basically, that's it.
Wow, so it is a chronic disorder. Okay, take us through. You define to us what's depression. I believe there are types of depression.
Yes, they are, and it depends with whoever is depressed. Some people might be depressed because of loss of a job. Some might be depressed because of relationship issues, some family issues, and all these factors can cause depression.
So the types of depression, is there like this depression, this depression?
Yes, depression is not like one, being caused by a specific thing. Depression is caused by a lot of factors, and the ones that I have mentioned, and there are also others like well, apart from the relationship factor and the joblessness, we also have family issues and loss of a friend or a family, death of a friend and family. All these definitely cause depression.
Wow, so I tend to feel like depression is a wild field.
Mhm.
It's a very huge field if we were to discuss all types of depression and the causes. But guys, for the little that he has, or the major causes that he has been able to outline, I bet by now you have an outline of what depression is all about. Taking into the next topic or the next question, what are the signs of depression? How can I know that I'm going through depression or my friend is going through depression?
Well, there are quite a couple of signs of these depressions. One of them is loss of appetite, weight gain. There are those people who, when they're depressed, they will lose weight or they will gain weight. Feeling like you want to be alone, you don't want to socialize with other people. And another thing is you don't do what you normally do on a daily basis, like the things you love doing, if it's going out, if it's meeting with friends. These things you won't do them anymore. So these are some of the conditions that and signs and symptoms of a depressed person.
Yeah, but I guess I should give my viewers a disclaimer. Maybe someone is just choosing to change his routine or changing his personality. Then we are here telling her or him that if you're changing your personality, it can be a sign of depression.
Well, depression is something you won't actually know that somebody is depressed or you as a person is depressed. You as a person, you may think that you are trying to avoid somebody because of this or that reason, but you won't know that you're depressed because of something. For example, if you are depressed because of a death of a friend, you tend to stay alone, cry a lot, things like that. So you won't know for that perspective, you won't know that you're depressed, but that is depression. So for you to overcome that depression, what are you going to do? And that's something you will get to.
We'll get into that. Signs of depression, causes of depression, what is depression? I'm taking you into a systematic way of discussing this topic. How can we really overcome depression?
First, you can't overcome something you don't know. Definitely, you have to know what exactly is what is that one thing that is depressing you. So that will take you back to the causes of depression. And what are these causes of depression? If it's caused by environmental factors, and talking about environmental factors, um, the youth that are mostly affected by the environmental factors are youths from the ghetto setup area. And this ghetto setup area can really be a challenging task for those people living there because most negative things are associated with ghetto: theft, drug abuse, killing, murder, robbery. So all these happening around you, definitely you as a person, you will get depressed. How are you going to survive? And definitely there are a lot of job losses in such areas. So you should know what exactly is depressing you. Another thing, it can be caused by genetic condition. If maybe your family lineage there has been that history of depression, definitely it's not a guarantee you will suffer from depression, but there are high chances of you suffering from depression. So these are the things you are supposed to look for. Another thing is the medical condition. Medical condition definitely can cause and will cause depression because if I as a person, I am mentally challenged and I see people who are not mentally challenged or physically challenged, definitely that will affect me as a person or will make me feel inferior. And feeling inferior is onset of depression. So you should know if it's a medical condition, and all these medical conditions can be bipolar disorder or COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. So medical condition can also as well cause um, depression.
Wow. So guys, I believe you're being enlightened and inspired and educated just like how I am right now. So what are the effects of depression?
Well, effects of depression. We've been watching news, and we we as youth, since we are energetic, we tend to be more active than the old people. And being depressed as a youth, your energy, you divert your energy into negative things. For example, the things I've mentioned, you are going to enter yourself into drug abuse, you're going to engage into theft, things like that. And maybe if you have a family, definitely you won't be a family person anymore because you might be beating up your wife, your kids, and to what scenario you might even have suicidal thoughts. And we've seen and we've watched news where a person has killed the family and has taken his own life. And these are things that are caused by depression. If you look deeply into such deaths, definitely it's depression. Because why do I say this? Somebody might lose a job, and with this tough economic period that we are in, definitely you don't have any source of income to feed yourself, your family. So depression will kick in. You are like, what are you going to do with your family? So the best option is to take your family and you kill your family and take your own life as well.
Which is so sad.
Mhm.
And as you have mentioned, overcoming depression is not that easy.
Mhm.
And I'm speaking on behalf of some people who I have seen, who I have been close to. They might be okay. They are not that remorseful on matters regarding depression. But my question is, how can a person like this? I'm going to describe that kind of person. It's kind of so introverted, so like anapenda kujiwekea vitu so badly, like no friends, little or no friends at all. And then all of a sudden I get hit with depression. How can we help such a person, or how can he or she help himself out of depression?
A depressed person, whether you are an extrovert or an introvert, the way you behave will definitely change. If you are an extrovert person and you are depressed, you might fall to category of introvert, and you will tend to keep things for yourself. And to these people, the best thing you can do is to realize what is really affecting you as a person. Definitely, it will take time because depression is a chronic disease and you won't even know that you're depressed. But try as much as possible to get support from your close friends and relatives. Share out your grievances. If you lost a job, go and talk to a friend, I've lost a job. If you feel that there's something wrong with you, just try and talk to somebody. Only then can you overcome depression and or can make you not to fall into that category of depression.
Okay. And you, Daktari, I have seen and heard you being so vocal about depression. Speak to the men out there, because in this society we're in, this toxic masculinity, they believe, how is he attacking with depression? How is he attacking with stress? Speak to them.
Well, depression it doesn't have a brain or doesn't think, doesn't choose who is going to affect or not. So depression can hit anyone, whether rich, poor, old or young. So there is nothing like masculinity sickness. Anybody can get sick with your money or with your poverty. You can get depressed. So if you feel like, well, we have those people when they're depressed, they won't talk to close friends and relatives. That's not the only option for you to get help. Another thing you can go for physiotherapy. Just try and get counseling, and we do have a lot of counseling institutions in Kenya. So just try and get counseling so that this kind of disease won't affect you in future or won't get worse. Okay. Another thing is the moment you get counseling and your counselor sees that you're improving, he or she might associate you or give you some medication. So we can also manage depression through medication. So there are different kinds of medication, and this medication we're going to be given a certain medication depending on the depression you're having. So we don't have one medication for that.
Wow. So on that, are there levels of depression that you say, huyu ako kwa hii level of depression, so this is how we medicate him? Take us through that.
Uh, well, a sickness definitely won't start treating somebody um, with something that is strong. Medication is something that goes step by step. First, you start with the simplest medication, talking to somebody. If that doesn't work, then there is counseling. If that doesn't work, then there is medication. So it depends how far is this is a depression. If it's you've gone too deep into depression, definitely talking to somebody won't work. And to figure that one out, then you have to see a counselor. A counselor will definitely know if the how far you are into depression.
Wow, just to make someone familiar with the situation of depression and how the process to take while if you are enduring depression. I want you to pose a question to you. For example, I am one under depression, I'm the one enduring depression, and I have accepted I'm going to go and see a certain counselor or a therapist. What exactly am I going to find there? Take us through that process. If you hospitality, I'm not yet to see a therapist. What happens there?
Well, I think it's as simple as any other consultation that you might require in hospital. If you are sick, you definitely go to the reception, want to see a doctor, and if you think that you're depressed, you just be specific. You have a counselor, you have a counselor doctor around. If there is a counselor, definitely they will refer you to one. So it is not that complicated.
You see, guys, it's not that complicated. The reason I asked that question, when you tell a youth or a teenager or just an adolescent, I feel like you need to see a psychiatrist. They'll be like attacking you. "Nani amekwambia mimi when I was able?" And when they agree to go and see a therapist, they'll be even more afraid because they don't know what they're going to be told there.
Well, every human, we are mad at some point. Ni level tu ndio tofauti. Kuna mtu ako level yake ya madness iko too high na kuna yenye yake iko kidogo sana. So seeking help because you're depressed doesn't mean that you are mad. Doesn't mean that you're mad. It means that you are sick, but your sickness is just different from any other sickness around. Somebody can go to the hospital because of a stomach ache, because of a headache. Those are sickness. Depression is also a sickness. So you can seek help like you would to any other sickness.
Well, we've heard from the doctor himself, depression is not a sickness. It's just a disorder that needs to be fixed. Like how your phone can crack and you need to fix it. That has not come to the end of it functioning. It can function, but it just needs some fixing. So before I move to the last question, we are closing up the show. I want to put you into this scenario. We as youths, we as teenagers, we as adolescents, we tend to engage into early sexual relationships. We want to date, we want to see new people out there. Then out of nowhere, we get heartbroken, get left. Either you can lose your partner through death or just break up like normally. What is your message to that individual who gets into depression? Because I believe that's depression.
Yeah, since you are talking about youth, and the most thing I would say that can make a youth go into depression, it is a relationship. A relationship is something common. Definitely, we are out here trying to find a perfect match. And you as a youth, you might think, oh, maybe you found your perfect match. Then this perfect match, one day or one time, decides that you are not my perfect match anymore. So, a lot of you know how to handle that situation. We never know how to handle that situation. So, you will find a youth, he or she, closing herself into his room, crying, not doesn't want to talk to anybody. And some even will start thinking of suicide. So as a youth, this life is yours. as much as you are heartbroken, you are perfect match as you may say is has left you, doesn't mean that your life is over. There are a lot of men and women outside there who are willing and willing to take you as their partner. So do not take yourself into that role of being depressed or having suicidal thoughts, because it never ends well. Because one thing, you're not the only person who you're going to affect. In the moment you're depressed, you have your family, your brother and sister, your mother, and close friends. What do you expect them to do? You are depressed, they are worried about you, or maybe you decide to kill yourself.
You might even bring them into depression.
Yeah, you might even bring them. Imagine you have seven brothers and sisters, you have seven offsprings, or including your mother and your father, and you kill yourself. Maybe all of them will fall into depression, and because they did fall into depression because of you, and it's something you could have handled. Okay, so with all those procedures I've given you, that is the best way you can do as a youth to make yourself safe and not fall into that trap.
God, there's bad. Your choice is your health. What you choose, it's what will affect your health. And yeah, that's all we have had. So before we close up the show, what is that one big advice you'd like to leave behind for the youth? I believe they're watching, they're not listening. The show is almost coming to an end. What is your message that you want it to stick into us as youths of the day?
Well, we are the future. We are the future bosses of this world, in this world. So, as a youth, we have a long way to go. We're still young, we're still energetic. You as a person, what are you going to do with your fresh mind, with your strength? What are you going to do? It depends with your choice. Just choose what you are going to do with your life. Don't, one I direct this mostly to those people who stay in ghetto setup area, because they are faced with a lot of challenges. Just try as much as possible to make a choice. Me, I have experience, because I have been brought and I have been born and bred in ghetto Nigeria, the street, and where I am today, it has been hard, and those people who I would say helped me is my parents, mostly my dad. Talking to somebody really helped. The way my dad used to advise me and direct me really helped me a lot. And as a youth, the best advice I can give you: use other people as an example. Use other people as an example. If your friend or you see somebody who is depressed or engages him or herself into drugs and robbery and such like things, then maybe definitely consequences will meet up with these people. They are killed or they are not productive in the society. Take that as an example. Do better, be better. Take the other road. So as a youth, you need to make a choice.
Wow, that's so amazing of you. That's a nice topic that you have just entailed it in this episode. I believe you've been enlightened, you've been educated, you've been inspired, and you have learned a new thing in this term of depression among us as the youths. And firstly, if I have to say, I believe that young people tend to listen to people who tend to understand them, because we believe that the elderly or the older people hawatuelewi sisi kama vijana. That's why I brought you Dr. Smith to talk to you guys, and I hope that you have a lot of questions to ask. So the comment section will be all open for you. You can find him on his social media platforms and link in the description box. And keep liking, keep subscribing, keep sharing, keep commenting, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram with the link, at the end on all social social media platforms, and of course celestestudio.ke on Instagram and official-ke on Instagram. Till next time, this has been Tuesday Vlogs. Bye!